short one.
Did Laura go to Florida?
Okay, the bell rang. We have a number of guests today in English class, and they were organized and arranged by Mrs. Hoffman, and these are the parents. They've come to read to you a favorite book from when you were little. Hopefully, maybe a few more will show up as we're going. Any moms want to volunteer to go first? Okay. Mrs. Hoffman, absolutely.
You're going to read? Did you bring a book?
No, just moms.
I didn't know.
No.
This one's Jessica's favorite book. Peter's family. Something new. Here we are, said Tom. Here's the house. We are home. We are home. It is fun to go away, and it is fun to go home. Look, Tom, said Grandfather. Look, Susan. Look, Father and Mother. Here we are, said Tom. Here we are, said Susan. Oh, Mother. Oh, Father. It is fun to go home. Come into the house, said Mother. I want you to see something. It is something very little. It is something new. It is something we wanted. Oh, Mother, said Susan. Is it a baby? The family wanted a baby. You will see, said Mother. Tom and Susan went into the house. Grandmother went in and Grandfather went too. Look, Susan, said Tom. Look, Grandmother. Look, Grandfather. The new baby is here. We have a new baby in this family. This was for Maria too, since she didn't have
Oh, I'm also.
This was Jamie's favorite book, The Little Red Hen. Once there was a little red hen who lived in a barnyard with her 3 chicks and a duck, a sheep, and a cat. One day the little red hen found some grains of wheat. Look, look, she cried. Who will help me plant this wheat? Not I, clapped the duck, and he waddled away. Not I, groaned the pig, and he trotted away. Not I, moved the cat, and he patted away. Then I will plant it myself, said the little red hen, and she did. Did you guys want to look at pictures of the wheat? When the wheat was tall and golden, the little red hen knew it was ready to be cut. Who will help me cut the wheat, she asked. Not I, said the duck. Not I, said the pig. Not I, said the cat. Then I will cut the wheat myself, the little red hen. And she did. Now, said the little red hen, it's time to take the wheat to the miller so we can grind it into flour. Who will help me? Not I, said the duck. Not I, said the pig. Not I, said the cat. Then I'll have to take the wheat to the miller myself, said the little red hen. And she did. The miller ground the wheat into fine white flour and put it into the sack of the little red hen. When she returned to the barnyard, the little red hen asked, who will help me make the flour into dough? Not I, said the duck, the pig, and the cat all at once. Then I will make the dough myself, said the little red hen, and she did. When the dough was ready to go into the oven, the little red hen asked, who will help me bake the bread? Not I, said the duck. Not I, said the pig. Not I, said the cat. Then I will bake it myself, said the little red hen, and she did. Soon the bread was ready. As she took it from the oven, the little red hen asked, well, who will help me eat this warm, fresh bread? I will, said the duck. I will, said the pig. I will, said the cat. No, you won't, said the little red hen. You wouldn't help me plant the seeds, cut the wheat, go to the miller, make the dough, or bake the bread. Now my 3 chicks and I will eat this bread ourselves. And that's just what they did.
I would have read this to you too.
I got more books if you want to read another one.
No.
Okay, we have another volunteer?
I guess I'll go.
Okay, speak loud and clearly so we get the whole story on tape.
But now I brought a bunch of books, so I can pick one. You want Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Turtles. We'll go with turtles.
Extra, extra, a newsboy shouted. Read all about it. Giant crime wave hits New York City. People hurried down the steamy city street, eager to get home. No one noticed a hand reaching, grabbing a newspaper without paying for it, then disappearing into the crowd. That night, April O'Neil had the same news to report on television. This is more than just a series of small crimes, the Ace reporter said on her late-night broadcast. There is a major force at work, a criminal organization that steals cars, burgles homes, and shoplifts. Everyone should be on the lookout. As the news show ended, April turned from the camera and sighed. There was still plenty of work to do. The reporter bent over the papers on her desk. Hours went by, and when she looked up again, she was alone. Quickly gathering her things, April waved goodbye to the security guard and headed for her car across an empty parking lot. Thud, thud. April's footsteps echoed through the silent, deserted lot. She passed by an area where remote control vans were parked and stopped short. A group of young thugs were quietly stealing TVs from the news van, and just a second after April spotted the crook, they spotted her too. Bad timing, said one thug as he drew a knife. You're telling me, April answered nervously. She turned and tried to run in the opposite direction, but the crooks were too quick for her and too strong. Help, April screamed, help. And then her mouth was taped shut and she couldn't say anything more. Not far away, a manhole cover slowly rose from the ground. What was that scream, a voice whispered? 4 figures lifted themselves out of the sewer. They were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. And they knew someone was in trouble. Well, you got to see the turtles, right? Swoosh! A ninja dagger whistled through the air, shattering the streetlight above the van. The lot was left in almost total darkness, but April could see 4 shadowy figures quietly moving in the distance. Suddenly they sprang into action, fighting with incredible speed and power. They surprised the crooks one by one. April strained to hear the voices of her rescuers, but all she heard was police sirens coming closer. In minutes, 2 police cars screeched into the parking lot, lighting up the area with their headlights. April blinked. All the crooks were now seated in a group, tightly tied together with TV cable. Her rescuers, whoever they had been, were nowhere to be seen. Who had saved her? The turtles stood nearby, unseen by April and the police. She's safe now, Raphael said quietly, watching as the police officer helped April to her feet. It's time to leave. The turtles turned and disappeared into the sewer where they'd come out of, silently pulling a manhole cover back into the basket. Far below in the deep, dark sewer, the turtles headed for home. Leonardo led the way through the long, winding passages. We were awesome, bros, he shouted, punching the air with his fist. Let's hurry up now, Michelangelo said, patting his stomach. I'm starving. I got a few pictures of turtles. Before long, the turtles reached the entrance to their den, a converted storage chamber filled with old furniture. The turtles' home was warm and inviting. A TV sat in one corner of the room, and on a faded chair in the opposite corner sat the ninja master Splinter, the turtles' teacher and friend. You know who Splinter is? He's not very big. That's the rat. You remember it, watch it. Mike had every one of them. Excited over the success of their first ninja mission, Leonardo knelt before Splinter. We've had our first battle, Master Splinter, he said. There were many, but we fought well. And now we've had our first victory, he continued. Let's put an end to all the crime in the city. We can use our ninja skills to bring peace back to the streets. There's a good picture. The aging rap master rose to his feet. His soft, steady voice told the wisdom of his years. You've done well, my son, Splinter said, motioning for the turtles to gather around him. But remember to be careful. You must never be noticed. If you are to do any good in this world, you must learn to strike hard and fade away. Suddenly, all eyes turned to the television as a special news bulletin flashed across the screen. The reporter was April O'Neil. It seems the secret force of do-gooders had decided to clean up New York City streets themselves, she began. Who are these mysterious heroes, and where do they come from? Hey, that's us, Donatello shouted, pointing to the screen. We're stars. The turtles smiled at one another. They felt proud to be on TV. You must never stop practicing your ninja skills, Splinter reminded them. While his master spoke, Michelangelo snuck away to make a phone call. That's right, he whispered into the telephone. I want a large, thick crust pizza of double cheese, pepperoni, mushrooms, and green peppers. Then Michelangelo quietly rejoined the others as they closed their eyes and began to meditate. But before long, the pizza arrived and the turtles turned on their favorite party music. Our first battle, and now this, Michelangelo said, chuckling as he bit into a slice. This is excellent pizza. Totally excellent, corrected Leonardo, and everyone, even Splinter, burst out laughing.
Aren't you glad we showed up?
That was the thing, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. God, we had turtle everything.
I think I can do it.
Left foot, right foot, right. Feet in the morning, feet at night. Left foot, right. Wet foot, dry foot, high foot, low foot. Front feet, back feet, right feet, black feet. Left foot, right foot, feet. How many feet you need? Slow feet, quick feet, trick feet, sick feet. Up feet, down feet, here comes clown feet. Small feet, big feet, here come his feet. His feet, her feet, fuzzy, her feet. In the house and on the street, how many feet you need? Up in the air feet, over a chair feet. More and more feet, 24 feet. Here come more and more feet. Left foot, right foot, feet. Oh, how many feet you need?
As you can all see, I'm not Terry. But Terry had an appointment in Bismarck today, so she was kind of upset that she couldn't be here, but she gave me a book that Joni really, really loved, and it's a book of poems. And she told me that she remembered that Joni would crawl up on her lap, and she'd ask to read her some of the poems in here, so I'm going to read two that Joni really liked. The first one, the name of the book is Where the Sidewalk Ends. The first poem is called Sick. Do you remember that, Joni? Did you really? I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I have the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox. And there's one more, that's 17. And don't you think my face is pretty? My leg is cut, my eyes are blue. It might be enzymatic flu. I cough and sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure that my left leg is broke. My hip hurts when I move my chin. My belly button's caving in. My back is wrenched, my ankle's sprained. My appendix pains each time it rains. My nose is cold, my toes are numb. I have a sliver in my thumb. My neck is stiff, my voice is weak. I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my mouth. I think my hair is falling out. My elbow's bent, my spine ain't straight. My temperature is 108. My brain is shrunk, I cannot hear. There is a hole inside my ear. I have a hangnail, and my heart is... What? What's that? What's that you say? You say today is Saturday? Goodbye, I'm going out to play. That's the first one. One more that Terry asked me to read for him. It's called The Crocodile's Toothache. You know that? The crocodile went to the dentist and sat down in the chair. And the dentist said, "Now tell me, sir, why does it hurt and where?" And the crocodile said, "I'll tell you the truth. I have a terrible ache in my tooth." And he opened his jaws so wide that the dentist, he climbed right inside. And the dentist laughed, "Oh, isn't this fun?" as he pulled the teeth out one by one. And the crocodile cried, "You're hurting me so. Please put down your pliers and let me go." But the dentist just laughed with a ho, 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 and he said, "I still have 12 to go." Oops, that's the wrong one, I confess. But what's one crocodile's tooth, more or less? Then suddenly the jaws went snap, and the dentist was gone right off the map. And where he went, one could only guess, to north or south or east or west. He left no forwarding address, but what's one dentist, more or less?
These are the kind of books that I ordered for my children that have their names in them automatically. This is called Mean-Little-Eyed Monster. It's a book was written especially for Tana Marston with lots of grammar for her. And Zach and Tana are detectives.
Calling Tana and Larson. Tana, come in. Zach and Tana are private detectives. It was the darkest part of the night. Zap's private eye screeched to a halt outside his partner's office. "Tana," he shouted, "a monster's loose in Williston." "Calm down, Zap," Tana told him. "There's no case we can't solve, and no monster we can't catch." "He knocks over garbage cans," said Zap as he climbed through the window. "He breaks the branches of trees and he stares at the people with his yellow eyes. Hurry, Tana, there's no time to lose." So Tana got into his detective disguise, and he figured no one could distinguish him or recognize him. He put a mop over his head and dark glasses over his eyes, and he wrapped himself in a blanket. And then he wore gloves over his hands. "What does the monster look like?" he asked. "No one knows," said Zap. "No one has seen anything but those horrible yellow eyes." Just then they looked at the window. There they were, those yellow eyes. "That's him," yelled Zap. "Let's get him." Tana grabbed and missed. Rats. Tana snatched and spun around. Zap did, but the monster got away anyway. Banana peels. TC's for Exhibit A. Good grief, he's eating every banana in the kitchen. They called the monster into the kitchen, but he was already gone. "Watch out," Zap said. "He's trying to trip us with these bananas." He's fast." "Is he a hurricane?" "He's smart." "Do you think he's a computer?" "He's very hungry." "How about a starving wolf?" "Let's get some help." Then they began to think. The monster was fast, he was smart, he was hungry, and worst of all, he was right in the neighborhood. They had to go get some outside help. "Monster alert! Prepare for danger. Citizens of Williston, be on the alert. Special friends and pets of Tana, and take care. Andrew," which is Andrew Hoffman, but he's not here now. "Snow," which is our pet, which is long gone from many years ago, and Grandma Dvorak. "Stay inside." Tana called the police, and he told them to declare a statewide monster alert. All North Dakota is in danger, especially Williston. "He's scary. He's worse than we thought." "I know, he's awful." So Zap called the TV station. He gave them a description of the monster, and then he turned on the news, and they were showing pictures of what the monster might look like. And the announcer said, "This monster must be caught." The telephone rang, and Andrew said, "Why not catch the monster in a big net?" The telephone rang again. Then a friend said, "Why not chase him into a hole?" And the telephone rang again, another friend said, "Make a wall, then he can't climb over." And then Tana got a better idea, a monster trap. When he takes the banana, the alarm will sound off. So they hung a banana over the trap to tempt the monster, and then they turned out the lights and waited and listened. Did you hear this? What? I heard a noise. Was it snow? I don't think so. It must be alarm. Look, Zap, we've caught the monster. The monster, that's the monkey. No wonder he likes bananas. Zap turned on the lights. The mysterious yellow-eyed monster was a small yellow-eyed baby monkey. He was lost. Thank you. The monster alert was ended. The monster was returned to his mother, and Tannen and Zap were heroes. Tannen felt brave and happy. Another case was closed, and another job was well done. And a big thank you to Tannen Larson and Zap who saved Lewiston.
Way to go, Tannen, you saved the day.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm Jill's grandma. And when Jill was 3, Danny and Debbie were expecting a second baby. And we've got a little book for Jill. It's called The Care Bear, Her New Baby. And we got thumbing through it, and the little girl in the story is named Jill. And we thought that was pretty appropriate. High up in the sky, the Care Bears were playing in their magical land, Caroline. They swung on swings that hung from stars, and pranced, danced, and capered across rainbows. Down below the clouds, Jill was wondering about something important. Her mother was going to have a baby. "You're a lucky girl, Jill," said Mrs. Jennings, who lived next door. "You'll have your very own playmate." Her very own playmate. Jill liked that idea. The baby would be a girl. Jill knew that for sure. She'd teach her how to do cartwheels and somersaults, just like she learned in gymnastics class. When they grew up, they could be the Pierce sisters, gymnastics stars. Jill's mother put Jill's small hand on her big tummy so that she could feel the baby move. Jill could hardly wait for the baby to be born. "Hurry up," she whispered to the baby when she cuddled up to her mom for a story. In Caroline, Friend Bear was tumbling from one cloud to another when she had a funny feeling. "I think somebody's going to meet Care Bears very soon," said Friend Bear, and she was right. Early that morning, while Jill was still sound asleep, her father phoned Mrs. Jennings. As soon as she arrived, he helped Jill's mother into the car. The baby was ready to be born. Birthday Bear never misses a birthday, so he popped into the car just as they drove off. "How do you feel, Jill's father?" asked her mother. "Very happy," she said. "A new baby is a wonderful thing." Birthday Bear thought so too. Jill begged to stay home, but Mrs. Jennings said she had to go to school. At the school, children were supposed to copy some new spelling words from the board. But all Jill could do was write K-A-T-I-E over and over in her notebook. That's what her mother said they would call the baby if it was a girl. If? Imagine that. Meanwhile, Friend Bear, Cheer Bear, and Tenderheart Bear floated above Jill's house on a puffy cloud. Because Care Bears are very special bears, no one even noticed them. Jill ran home as soon as the lunch bell rang. "Your father just called," said Mrs. Jennings with a smile. "Your mother is fine, and your little brother is adorable." "Little brother?" She went into her room and closed the door. "Little brother? How can I be the Beer Sisters with some dumb boy?" Tears started to stream down Jill's face. "You can't," said Cheer Bear. "But boys can do gymnastics too. You could just call yourself the Fierces, or the Magnificent Fierces." "The Magnificent Fierces. That sounds neat, doesn't it?" said Jill. "But who are you?" "I'm Cheer Bear. I'm one of the Care Bears. Care Bears understand how kids feel. We knew how much you were wishing for a sister, but sometimes all the wishes in the world can't make something happen exactly the way you want." And they sure